Let's move up, and boom. Local high scores, new research available. So, on month 2 of the first year, every time, you have that to do. You have another gameplay feature that is unlocked immediately. This is local high scores. And every feature, as I'll look into after, has a number of points that it will give in the development of a game. I'll show you what that means. But there you go. So that is local high scores done. Now we're looking for getting all the genres. So we're going to look for adventure. We're also going to look at the job market. Oh, not that one. Oh, so why not that one? Because the cost was very high. That's all. That's the only reason why. So none of these, but I'm going to do this one. Yes. Stop. You go here. So that's my character, which is a good programmer and game designer for this early in the game. And so I'm going to use him in this room to make a commission work on a short assignment. I'm going to use this one, the create user interface. It's on 4.2 in the workload and gives me 32,000. Now, it gives a lot. It gives a lot of money. 32,000, as I say, is a cost for a game. But this is just because it is the first one. Everything given on week 1, day 1, on week 1, month 1, gives you a lot of money. Same for the contracted games. They're going to give you a lot more than what is normally what they give you in the game. But so here we go. So this guy's just going to do this. Going to give me about 30,000. So basically it's going to cover the expenses for one of these genres. And I'm going to start automation because there was a second one as well. I love this game for the details that it has in it, man. It's very good. Okay, so I can get that one too. 1,400. So I can get this guy. Stop. I'm going to dismiss this guy because he's a game tester and right now I don't need that. So we can dismiss him and instead have 2 researchers. Real researchers on 37.8 and 31.2, which are pretty good points. And so the speed at which this will go will be much faster than if I had the other 2 people in. Now, we've done those, so now we can work on these. Shit, I just saw. These are 20%. Thank God this one's a 5. Okay, so I'm going to go with the adventure game. We're going to use a topic that I know works with adventure game, which is time travel. If you don't have time travel, just get it. It costs 10,000. You can find, mostly from the title of the genre, you can find mostly what it associates with. Most of the time, you can. So, now, it's time to show you something I'm proud of, but that isn't complete yet. Let me show you. The sheet. So this is the sheet. The cheat sheet that I created. So I'm just going to show it like that. This is a sheet of all the details for making the perfect game for every genre. It is not complete. I only gone all the way to economic simulation. There's still all of these to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 left that are not complete. Some of them are getting somewhere, but not close enough where I can say they're done. But, as you can see, here we have the 4 first genre. Actually, the first on all of these guys. They're actually ranked by the time when you unlock them. Order of release, see. So, bam, 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 bam. So, the first 4 are here. And as you can see, for an adventure game, the target group is adults. So, when you come back to the game, we're changing the target group from all to adults. Then you go through. You cannot take an engine yet because you don't have anything that would warrant an engine. This is on the Fairtex CF only as an exclusive game. The Fairtex CF is a console that existed for real under a different name. But yeah, it existed. A console like this existed in the 70s. All the way to the early 80s, actually. Now, All of these are the engine features. As you can see, you start with basic graphics, only with text. Then speaker sounds. They only come out of the speakers for a few beeps. Primitive AI and primitive physics. So basically very little amounts of physics or shit like that. Languages. You can see that the cost is about 2,600 for the language pack for all of the languages. This means that each language costs 260, except for one. This is why I went with France. It costs 0 to get the French language. Now, it would be the same if you went with England or Germany or things like this. It would only cost nothing for the language of your country that you chose. Each country does have one where it's actually set normally. But so yeah, French. And I'm taking English as well, just to have 2 different languages, not only have French, you know. And here is where the sheet comes back into play. So, there is the game, the stats of the game are separated in 3 different steps. You have the phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Phase 1 is 8 different stats that you have to pick and adjust accordingly. You have game length, game depth, beginner friendliness, innovation, story, character design, level design, and mission design normally. Yeah, and mission design. You can see them on top here. Those are the 8. And I have fine-tuned them to be perfectly set on what the game wants you to set them. And they are not different if you pick the things that are normal in the game. So, coming back over to the game, this means that game length has to be 2. Game depth has to be 1. Beginner friendliness is 5. Innovation is 1. This is what it tells you. This is what it tells you on the sheet. 2, 1, 5, 1. Those are the first 4. Then you move up to the second part, which is still phase 1, but the second things that you can see, these 4 here at the bottom. These guys, right here. So, story is marked as 10. Character design as 9. Level design as 7. And then mission design is at 5. And so, I think you get how it works from then. You just go on and go on and go on. And then the second phase is just these 3 that are design directions, not the focus. And so, it is 5, 5, and 7 for easy or hard. And the phase 3 is 40, 30, 15, 15. There you go. You always need to have a 0 here and a 100% here. You cannot go over or under. So there you go. That was it. Then, now, for every game and every genre, you have to pick gameplay features. There are some that are marked in yellow, some that are marked in green, that you don't see here, and some that are marked in red. What does this mean? The yellow ones are going to give you an average amount of points for finishing that task. So the points, you can see them if you hover over the thing. As you can see, arcade joystick support gives you 5 in gameplay and 5 in technology. 5 points in each. You'll see how many points you get for a game. It's not very big on a game. But having a task will make it longer for the game to go through, which means more points for you at the same time. So, and if you look for red, 0, 0, 0, 0. No points. Same for this one. No, this one gives 1 point. 1 point. But even if it is at 0, it's actually important to have that one in early on. Because as I say, the people that are making the game still have to go through it, and as they complete the task of going through the pause function, they have to, well, they are going to give you more points still. So, you can enable all 5 features that we have right now. Also, yes, you start with 2 functions, which are keyboard support and pause, and you bought these 3. So, you can see the price that it costs, though. 2,000, 2,000, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. Every time the stars, as you can see, there are a few stars here. Every time the stars go up, the price goes down by 10%. So that will mean that this one, when you have 1 star, will be 2,700. 2 stars, 2,400. 3 stars, 2,100. 4 stars, 1,800. And full stars, 1,500. Basically, you can half the cost in the features. So there you go. This one is not important right now, and you can't even do them for contracted games. But there you go. So this is how you make a game in Mad Games Tycoon. Then you press this, and as you can see, we have gotten 12,000, and if we get at least 0.5 out of 10 on the game, we will have 48,600 given to us from the publisher. Alright, I think I explained this well enough. And as you can see, the points are moving in. 3, 2, 1. And so these are bugs. But as I said, my character doesn't make bugs. So this is not a stat we have to look at right now. And bam! Did you see the amount of points we got on graphics? This is because we completed one of the engine features. Completing a feature gives you that amount of points. 20, 20. As you could see, both of them actually went up by 20. Now, is this number of points good? No. No, it's very low. But it makes sense. We're very early on in the game. No one that is bug-free. Error-free, I know. But I always say bug-free. So, we went through a few months. The game is halfway done, as you can see. Even though it was pause function, it still gave me a few points. Because, as I say, you will go through it. So it makes sense to give you some points. We still have a few features to do. We can always look at the job market to find someone that we like. This one's pretty nice because actually, if you look at the stats, this one is almost at the same price, but has 7 points down from this one, which is 38. So for $200, you get 8 points up. You take that. You'd take that. So 75% of the game is done. 87 now. Only arcade joystick support left. And so you can look at this development report here just to make sure, current estimated rating, that this is high enough, you know. As the current estimated rating is above 20%, you're fine with the minimum rating of 5. And basically whenever it's 2040, it's always going to be a 30% minimum. If it's 70-90, you're going to get an 80%. 80 to 89%. If it's 80 to 100, you can get from 90 all the way to 100. And this is now a 40%. And so we can hand it over, even if the game is bad. It's not a good game, okay? It's a 40%. But it is good enough. And so you get a review every time for the games. A new exclusive game for Fairtex CF has reached us. Let's see if it's worth buying. The first hours of the game are a particular joy. Unfortunately, the plot is far too short. It's a text-based game in 76. What are you expecting? The graphics look poorly detailed and unpolished. The competition does a much better job, and as you can see, my note on graphics is 39%. It's always, the text is based on the percentage that you get for each stat. The sound effects are an insult to my ears. This was not a good job by the sound designers. 28% makes sense. Control of the game are not a strong point of the game. My opinion, in very many points, the game is average at most. 43%. We take those. And as you can see, deadline was met. We get 2% in the reputation. 2.15. And because we got the minimum rating, we get 48,000. And so total salary, 61. Development costs are 37. So we still got a total net gain of 23,000. Which is good, but not amazing. Now you can do these, as you see, 3.6, 3.3. They're much smaller than before, of course. I told you that they would be smaller. Also, one thing that has happened lately is that they've added achievements to the game. There are 67 achievements that you can do. And each achievement over giving you things on Steam, also give you your own stats increase. As you can see, doing a contracted games gives me 1% of my own consoles sold up. So basically I get 1% more sales on my consoles. If you do an action game that has at least 70% in the rating, so 7 out of 10, you know, 70% is... It's better to say 70%. You get 1% of the PC and console games sold, which is very nice. This is the best one. The best stat right here. 1% of PC and console games. This is the best. And every stat can be increased by 6%, I think. There's about 10. So maybe you can get 7, but I don't know. I think it's 11, actually, that you can get. Another very good thing is the work rate and the training speed. These two are very good to know. They're very good to have as well. Training speed and work rate. And every time it just goes back through the thing and goes back. So there you go. So that was one of them. That was 1%. So great. We got something. And so, as I told you, at the end of month 6, week 4, there is a Mad Games convention, as they call it. We have 3 more games to do, and as you can see, as I talked about, the bonus for this one is now much, much smaller. Only 26,000 instead of the 48 that you have in this one, you know? So, main topic, we're going to go with cars. I know this one too, as I told you. We have all the things for all of these. This one's on the Byte 1, which is the Apple 1, the first computer that Steve Jobs only ever did, you know? Also, these also have reduced the development cost, and on top of that, they give you more points the more stars they get. I think it's the same also for the gameplay features. They do get more points, but I'm not sure about that. I need to check exactly, and it takes a while to check. 7486 1284. And if you think about it, all of these make sense for genres, for each genres. So after that, 848. No wait, 1284. 804. Like that. And 10, 40, 30, 20. And so this is the problem. This design priority is going to be my undoing for 20%. I feel it so bad, but actually 20% should be doable if we get all of these in. Ah, so it does give more points. It does give more points to get all of these. That's very nice to know. That is very nice to know. Okay, so the more stars you get on these guys as well, the more points they give you. By 1 every star. Okay, that's still a thing. Let's look. No one that I would want. No one that I would want. There we go. So that is the Mad Games convention. So just to show you the interface, you just take one thing, you get a game in, one of your own games, you get that in, and you get a few fans from that. But in 1976, there is no way in a legendary game that you're going to be able to do that. Because you need to make some contracted games. You need to make contracted games. This is not me saying that, okay, yeah, you kind of want to. No, you need to make them. If you don't do contracted games early game, you're done. You cannot actually sustain yourself enough because all of your games are too bad to actually make money. And you don't make enough games to actually give you good money. Anyway, so yeah, you have to make contracted games. They're the only sustainable income. Let me check. No one I would want again. I do need a game designer or a programmer right now, but I want it error-free. Yes, it's very slow to make a game right now. It's a 30%, so we're fine. We are fine. It's a 32%. Of course, it's bad, but actually, the stats are better. 52, 35, 31, 63. They're better. Overall, it's slightly better. But of course, we're going to just continue doing this, getting... Ah, so it disappeared. So, as you can see here, the racing game that I had on the contract actually disappeared because we waited too long. Oh well, that's a problem, but it's not the biggest problem. We have this one that gives you 39,000, so it's still actually a game of money. And you don't have to always do the stats every time. You can just copy game concept of another game of the same genre, and it'll be fine. You will have all the stats in place and everything. Even these are in place. And now this gives 1 and 1 instead of 0 and nothing. So this one is also still 1, but it might be 2 at one point. You never know. But all of these are still 6. Only 6 and 6. But hey, that's good. We still take it. We still take it. No, I won't do that yet. I'm going to talk about that a bit later, okay? But we need a bit more time. We need a bit more time. As you can see, our money is doing fine. We're still on 205,000. Also, you can look at charts in this thing, the statistics, and you can look at best game of all time. And look at all the games that are out. So you can see mine by the contracts on top of it, the icon of the contract, because no one else is making contracts as an AI. And the best game is an 86%. For Legendary, that is magnificent by the AI. Already that's magnificent. All of them are... So the top 3 is arcade games. How do I know that? By the fact that it says arcade, but also the page being yellow. These reviews are always white in their page. But you can see that I don't have the worst game of all time. Pipe Quest is. It's an arcade on 11% on the review. 1% in gameplay, 1% in graphics. Sound on 22, controls on 35. A must buy if you want to torture yourself. Ooh. that hurts. This room is one of the most important rooms in the game, by the way. Research is really important. And you need to keep it big. You need to keep it large. Because the amount of points sometimes that they ask you is absurd. Right now it's going to be fine, but you can go all the way to something like 5,000 points for one task. 5,000 points is massive. Right now tasks are like 50, 100 max. You're going to have a 300 for a role-playing game, but that's in 77. So we're still at 200,000. Still no one that I can reliably get. I could have gotten that game designer, but I don't want to give myself bugs right now. I don't want to give myself bugs. We have a lot of contracts that came in. 5 contracts this early. We need a second guy. We need a second guy, don't we? We just do. We just need a second guy. Okay, there you go. Come in. And you know what? No, that's a game tester. I thought it was game designer. Nope. So just these 2. That's fine. It came in at the end of the game. It didn't actually do a bug. So whatever. That's not the problem right now. 42%. There we go. But we have 5 more contracted games. And we have some in genres that we haven't done yet. This one gives the most money. Most amount of money. Let's do it. In the payment. Not in, well, the reward. The full reward. Children for skill game. I can do evolution for that. So, wait. Get off the language. There we go. That is a big gain of money, by the way, if you're wondering. It's gonna be about 6,000 gold. $6,000 gold. Oh man, I have a bit of CK3 in my mind still. Anyway, so for skill game, 5285. 2468. 2387. I don't know where I got that. 2387. Alright, and then 717. I shouldn't even try, man. 40, 10, 10, 40. There we go. And you can see some green. And these have high points. 10 points on each of them. This one's 16 and 4. And then these 2 are all 6 and 6 and 6 and 6. So, for a game like this, you actually get a lot. And yes, you do. And as you can see now, we are making bugs. The other guy that I have, the other girl that I have with me, sorry, I didn't know the gender. The other guy I have with me will make bugs, unfortunately. Well, now, I don't want another programmer. I want 2 game designers with me in this room. So there you go, Mad Games Awards. We are in month 12, week 1. You can see all of these, and Pipe Quest is the worst game of all time. Well, of the year, but also going to be close to all time. And we are just under 200,000 right now. I got to the toilets. And this is, as you can see, a 60%. This game's a 60%. Not even just that, it's a 67%. I didn't have high expectations before this review and was surprised. Still, it is not enough for a hit. Of course, graphics and sounds suck, but the rest is good. And so, we have a few more to do. We're gonna do them slowly. I'm gonna actually take this one away, because the amount of money that it gave me was insignificant. There we go, we're just doing it that way. Boom, boom. So as you can see, 1, 1, 1, 0, 7. Now these guys are at 7. There you go. But also, their cost is 1.8 or 1.2 only. And same for these guys now. 1.8, 1.5, 1.2, 1.680. 1.6, why, okay, whatever. Well, there you go. Boom. That is another game in the works. Bugs don't matter for a contracted game this early on. It doesn't matter if you give a bug away with bugs. A game away with bugs. A bug with bugs. Nice. I get a bit more into details next session, by the way, guys. Alright, wait a minute. Nope. So you're gonna have sometimes some game developer legends, as you can see here on top. One other thing that we will do is you can go into the phone icon here. Yes, that's a phone. And you can go into dev kits, buy dev kits. And so dev kits are consoles, basically. Development kits. So there you go. You can just take all the consoles. Doesn't cost too much this early on. Don't take the arcade, though. It's not that big. Pandemic! So people will fall ill. Don't talk about that right now with Omicron being a thing. Thank you very much. So it's a 30%, probably hindered by the 13 bugs, but still, 36. There you go. And so, the more games you do, the more consoles you'll unlock on the games as well. So there you go. We have 3 more games to do. This one, I'm going to say no. This one, I'm going to say yes, and right now, because that's 40,000. And we have not made a puzzle game, so we can do that. Evolution probably works for this again. Alright, bam, bam. And now, as you can see, 1.5, 1,000, 1,250, and 1,400. There you go. So, for a puzzle game, this is where I got a 4268. 7274 4268. 7274 4268. Like that. And then it's 8, 0, and 8. And it was for seniors. And it's 50, 10, 10, 30. Much more emphasis on the gameplay. And as you can see, all of them are in yellow. 12 and 3. So that's 15 points. That is 16 points. 16, 16, and 16. Pretty good, actually. You know, the amount of points that you get for all of these. That's pretty nice. This one has a high cost, as you can see. 3,300 is what you can consider a high cost. One other thing. Even if I have on my money 194,000 and am slowly starting to lose out, I have the bank. The bank can give me up to 175,000 right now, and every time your rating, and that you can see here, the 5 stars, can you see those? The 5 hollow stars. Whenever they're going to get filled in slowly by half star, you are actually going to have more and more money that you can get from the bank. Every time you complete a game, your studio rating goes up. Even if you don't see it, it still does increase. We're, for now, an unknown garage company, but it will go up by half a star at about 500,000, I think, in the credit limit. Or actually, I think it's 1 million in the credit limit in the bank. So whenever we get close to that, you'll know that we are near it. And now, that's interesting. We have the first engine feature. The 2D line graphics. And I'll give you a little bit of a trick. Okay? I'll give you a little trick. when we're done with that game and when we have to do the next one, I'll give you a bit of a trick to get back a bit of money. Okay? So, right now we're just gonna let that game go through, finish this one, wait for the 2D line graphics as well. They're done now, so that's good. The console feature is locked. The other thing that was at the bottom, the keyboard support that you could see, that was locked, and we cannot do anything with that.